Hello, and today I'm going to do a brief introduction on how to enter taxonomies or manage your taxonomies. This comes very important for various departments, such as anybody running the diabetes audit or pharmacy. There's a number of drug taxonomies or lab. Those are the main primary users I see that this really comes into play, besides me, with various dialogues and all that. There's a bunch of them that I have to manage or make sure I get updated nationally. But the ones I'm going to show you today are ones that are locally managed to handle very specific functions. If they're not done correctly, in the case of like lab and some pharmacy, it can affect meaningful use or GIPRA numbers because some of the things that it looks at is for various drugs or lab tests in the system. In the case of lab tests, there is LOINC. That will generally handle most of them, but it doesn't get all the different ones out there. There are some CRS reports and diabetes management audits and all that don't use the LOINC option. But it's also a fail-safe for when LOINC doesn't work. So anyways, for you guys, I've actually added it to your secondary menus. But there's a couple ways to get in there. As I just said, there is a secondary menu, which if you hit 0 in your screen here, it brings you up to your secondary menu, and you kind of scroll until you find taxonomy setup. For me, it's number 59. When you select 59, it brings you to this list, and this is where all the taxonomies are kept. Depending on who you are, you're going to pick the one that best matches what you're looking for. So I'm going to select, I'm going to go into drug, and I'm now into our taxonomy update area. Now within here, you have to select what you want to edit, and based on that, you can do your changes. Now I'm going to try, I can't remember if this is a test server or the main server, but I'm going to try to edit the pharmacy ones. And if it doesn't work for you, get in contact with me. I may have to make some modifications in FileMan to get you back access or control in this. I usually have these pretty locked down, but let's see if I got it here. I enter, I'm not going to worry about key terms or descriptions, and this right now is the BAT or asthma control or med taxonomy area. To add something, you just hit A for add, and as you can see here, this one's locked down, so I can't really add anything, but if it was working correctly, you would just add there. Let me try going to 70. Oops, 70 and see going to the diabetes audit, insulin drugs. Enter, enter, go, and again, add. Okay. Well, you obviously have to be a manager of one of these areas, in which I will have to probably get with you at some point and make sure that you are what they consider one of the creators. I'm actually surprised I'm having such a problem with this. Let me try 41. And it looks like, yes, you can add in here, but you have to have authority in there, which I'm sorry, this is not doing well for me. It may be better for pharmacy to go through the eye care option, which I'll show that here in a second, but let's try lab. So I'm going to select here, select lab. I'm going to say I want to add all the tests for pap smears, the first one. Select one, go through there, and now I am at. From here, you add in your lab test, and you be very specific on the name. But once I add it, if I added it here, it would populate into this area, and you're done. So that's what's supposed to happen exactly the same way with pharmacy. If I started typing in something here, like if I do a question mark, it's going to go basically to the lab file and pull up every lab. If I had access into the pharmacy area, it would basically give me the same option, whatever you have in your drug file. And you just add it, and you're good to go. So this is, again, this option is by going through roll and scroll and using taxonomy setup that way. Besides the going straight through your regular menu option, you can go up at CRS, go into the appropriate year for the clinical reporting system, go to setup, and again, TS, and it'll bring you into these options. And you just have to pick like VT or one of the other ones to get all your different areas. And again, you'd look for ones that were LOINC code, obviously LOINC code, or that said lab, etc. Just another way to get in there. Any way will work as far as that's concerned. Now the other area that you can add this information is in eye care. I'll go ahead and load eye care here up real quick. Between the two, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth in which one I like better. I like the graphic user interface of iCare just because I like graphic user interfaces. But really, if you know where you're going and the roll and scroll, it's not really any harder. Except for trying to edit things. I'm actually noticing that being able to edit your taxonomies here is a lot less difficult to get you access into. But we'll ultimately figure out what works for you best based on what you need. But anyways, if you were going to edit taxonomies within iCare, you load the iCare program, you get to your main splash page and just go to Tools, Maintenance, and View, Edit Taxonomy Entries. You give it a second and then it goes through your different categories. So here you can kind of see the different lab tests. I can just double click that, and here's one for dental exams. Here's what they have for lab tests for dental exams, and you can generally modify it from here. This one is that looks like it's locked down because normally it would give me some options to change things, but let's go to something else. I like the BGP. Areas and try BGP. No, HEDIS. Let's go here. Okay. And here's one that you can actually edit, and actually I did forget about that. If you're able to edit them and add things to them, this is kind of the area that would allow you to do so. As you can see, the HEDIS ACE meds have edit mentioned in there, and it's now given you these options that are add, removed. If you want to add something to it, you just hit OK, and then it gives you a search box again that you can look for things like lisinopril, which is already in there, but you always want to find all the different versions of lisinopril, and you can add it in here. So in a way, this may be easier for you because you know the ones that you can modify based on the edit symbol. HEDIS antibiotic meds, again, here's your add, remove options, etc. Let's see, labs, let's filter out. Oh, there is filter functions in here, which does make this kind of nice. So you can sit there and say, I just want all the ones that are lab tests. There you go. Well, you can add in your fecal occult. You can add in oh boy, I can't say it, in hemoglobin. And let's see, there's no more ones. Here is pap smear tests. You can edit that. PSA tests, you can add, remove things in there. Warning signs is kind of saying that, hey, there's nothing in here. I always invite, if you wondering if you really need to add something into something, you may want to contact your various consultants for your area, like lab consultants or pharmacy consultants, etc., to see if it is something you need to add or not. So I just did a subcategory of lab test, and now we're HIV. Let's see, diabetes. There's only one. You can add in creatinine kinase. So that's why one thing I kind of do like about the option for using iCare is it does give you these little things saying which ones you can actually mess with. Like this one, it's not going to let you touch the link. That's a national one. Only they can mess with it. And maybe you want to change it that you only want to see these. Again, I just now modified it to only show me lab tests that are editable. Makes it kind of simple. Let's say I don't want to look at lab tests. I want to look at medications that are editable. There we go. Now, just because they're editable doesn't mean you have to do them. Again, there's some in here that I think are ones designed by people, like these. Yes, they're editable, but they are obviously not something that you need to deal with. I am going to try reaching out and getting a list for individual departments from their consultants also, as I said before, to see if they can give us a list of things that have to be done. But this kind of gives you an idea. With that, I will now close out. Again, it's you can decide which one you think works best for you, and we can get you set up whichever route works out best. Alrighty, thank you very much for taking the time to look at this. I can't wait to see your work in managing your taxonomies. Thank you very much and have a nice day.